On this episode of the Oklahoma Breakdown with Ikard and Lehman, presented by Riverwind Casino, Creed Humphrey joins us. The Super Bowl champ is here. Also, we recap the OU guys' performance at the NFL Combine, and we give you our winners and losers of the weekend. Please download and subscribe to the podcast. Rate it 5 stars and write us a good review. Follow the show on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Just search Oklahoma Breakdown on any of those, and you'll find us. All right, our man Michael Hosty will kick this thing off. It's time for the Oklahoma Breakdown. It's a beautiful Monday, March 6th, and you're listening to the Oklahoma Breakdown with Ikard and Lehman, presented by Riverwind Casino. Riverwind is Oklahoma City's premier casino experience, and there are so many reasons why Riverwind is consistently voted OKC's #1 casino, but it all starts with their amazing variety of gaming thrills and excitement. Riverwind's beautiful award-winning environment plays host to more than 2,800 of the latest electronic games with a huge selection of table games, including blackjack, blackjack match roulette, and Teddy's favorite, craps. No matter what your game, Riverwind has it in spades and hearts. And to learn more about their gaming promotions and entertainment options in the month of March, all you got to do is visit riverwind.com. Riverwind Casino, simply the best. Now recording this Sunday night. Please leave us a 5-star review and a nice comment. Ted, we've got a Super Bowl champion and a Saturday Night Live star on the episode tonight. Let's go. Creed Humphrey joining us.
Awesome, man. He's on a roll. Young man is on a roll right now.
There is no doubt about that. And I would assume this time next year. I don't know when he can negotiate his extension, right? Because he's on a 4-year deal because he wasn't a first rounder. So he is on the verge of making what's the best metric? A buttload of money.
Yes, he is. He
But
is. And he's worth it too, man.
absolutely. But I mean, before we get to Creed, we got an NFL Combine to recap, and some OU guys made some absolute waves with their performance there at the NFL Combine in Indianapolis. Let's go in order by the day the guys performed. So let's start with Jalen Redmond. The big question for us was, how athletic is this guy? Turns out he's pretty athletic. And you look at it, 4'8", 140, second amongst the defensive linemen, a 34.5-inch vert, first, 9'8" broad, first, a 7.303 cone, first, a 4.51 shuttle, first among the defensive linemen. Did 27 reps on the bench, which was fourth. Ted, he looked really, really athletic in drills. I'm not sure the Combine could have gone any better for him when it comes to what he showed athletically. Now, teams are still going to have a lot of questions about the tape, right? But when it comes to going to Indianapolis and doing everything you could do to show that you're a good athlete, Jalen Redmond did exactly that, man. That was impressive.
Well, whenever you are that athletic and the numbers look like his look with the size that he checked in at, which was really nice size, we've talked about this before. They start to view your film differently, right? They, instead of saying a guy only flashes every now and then, what's going on? They start to say, well, wow, look at these, how impressive these moments are. And we can get him to have more moments like that. So it's really an incredible performance. And I know that it's strange that a guy like Redmond is going to perform this well. And for OU fans, there's going to be more questions than there is celebration. It's like, how? Right? I mean, that's the one thing that we waited on forever, is for it to translate to the field. And it did in moments, but it ultimately leaves you feeling like, my goodness, why weren't we able to get more production out of him whenever he was here? Because he's here for a long time.
That's the thing. I think that's the thing. You look at the numbers, clearly he's a gifted athlete, right? But I feel like we always knew that. It was the injuries and the inconsistencies with him, right? And I think there's going to be a team that's going to talk themselves into it, be like, hey, we can keep him healthy, we can get the most out of him. But there's absolutely no doubt that the show he put on in Indianapolis, it's going to make every single team in the league go back and go, okay, let's take a closer look.
Yeah.
Right. And when you're in his situation, when you're in his situation that he was in heading into Indianapolis, I mean, that's mission accomplished, man. I mean, they
Yeah.
still might not like what they see on the film, but now putting up those type of numbers, you've got everyone's attention. Everyone's going back and saying, okay, what's up with this guy?
Well, the list of guys that have been first or second in almost every drill at the combine and been drafted later than the third round is an incredibly short list. I don't know. It's probably never happened. You just big, physical, strong, explosive humans like Jalen Redmond. There's not that many of them every year. And that is the premium. We say this on the show all the time, quarterbacks and wideout, like all of these things matter, but it is a line of scrimmage sport. And whenever you have guys that are that explosive, that's where you start. I don't know where he's going to end up getting drafted, but it's probably going to be much higher than anyone expected.
Yeah. So and the thing that stood out, like the testing numbers were great, right? But I thought he looked fantastic in the drills, like the pass rush, like doing the bags, everything. Like he looked so smooth and polished, and that's why this was my number one takeaway. I think throughout Jalen Redmond's career, yes, the injuries have set him back. There's no doubt about it, but there was always a concern of, okay, how much does this guy really like football? Right. And that wasn't like us just saying that. We had heard that from guys that were on the coaching staff. Like they just didn't know. Well, him going and putting up these type of numbers, it at least shows you that he took the training and the preparation for this very, very seriously. He looked like he was in great shape. He looked extremely polished in pretty much everything that he did. And I think that bodes well for people that may be questioning his dedication to this entire thing, right? He was clearly very well prepared and put the time and work in that it took to put up these type of numbers.
I can't tell you if he loves football or not, but I can tell you that he's decided to make a career out of it. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
At the end of the day, that's what's gone on here. Is like there's a lot of people that have careers that they don't necessarily love, right? But you show up and you perform as good as you can, and the man's going to play football for money, and there is no doubt about that. And something else we've talked about on here: some guys are much better professional players than they are collegiate players. Just it's different. It's different. And some guys, maybe don't get into the whole like team and culture thing, prefer to just tell me what I need to do and I will show up every day and do it without all of the other stuff. And maybe he's going to be one of those guys. He clearly has the tools to be able to do it.
Yeah. It was a good couple days for Redmond.
No
I think he made himself some money. Okay. Michael Turk ran a 4.83 40 and had a 34-inch vert. Pretty dang good for a punter. You want to go into any deep analysis on that?
I don't know. I mean, it's awesome that he did that, showed some really good athleticism, but would it matter if he ran a 4.3 at punter?
No.
Why do they even ask those guys to do that?
I think some guys just want to show that they're good athletes. Just like, hey, I can tackle a guy if I have to because I can run pretty fast.
Yeah, yeah, he's a hell of an athlete, but that 4'8" and that 34-inch vertical pale in comparison to what he can do whenever he lights the football up. So I think he'll be just fine.
I would pay, and I don't know that this happened for a fact. I'm just going to assume with the experiences you had at the combine, which the experiences I had at the combine, we've shared some stories over the years. I want to know what his first reaction was when a coach said, "Hey, you know that YouTube thing? That's going away. You're a punter." I wonder how he handled that in the interview process.
Oh my gosh.
Because it came up so many times. Like, hey, our punter's not going to have a YouTube channel. It ain't happening. You know what I mean?
You know what's interesting? So a lot of those interviews, they try and get you, like they'll question you about your past and a lot of stuff, and then they'll talk some football and maybe get you on the board and talk about the schemes and stuff that you're. What did they talk to a punter about?
I assume the special teams coach talks to him about, like, they talk shop. I have no clue. I'm not even gonna pretend I
know. So how do you hold it whenever you punt it? How do you drop it? Are you a long drop or short drop guy? Funny.
I don't know. All right, Marvin Mims. He's fast. He's very, very fast. We had him on the podcast. What did he say? 4.4?
I think he said he was going to try and run 4.3.
And he did. 4.38. Tied for the fourth fastest among wide receivers. Also had a great vert, 39.5 inches. That was tied for fifth among the wide receivers. A 10.9 broad, which is really, really good. Had a 6.9 3-cone, which is, I thought, in the 4.38, 40, like, I knew he was really fast in a straight line. We've watched him run by people for 3 years. We know he's really fast in a straight line. But I was wondering, I was really interested in that 3-cone number, and that's a really nice time for him. So I thought Marvin Mims, he did what he needed to do. I thought he looked great catching the football in the drills. I kept hearing from, person after person after person how impressive he was in the media setting and just talking to people down there. So I think he did himself a lot of good also.
No doubt about it. And we've said this a bunch on here also. If you are not the prototype size for your position, you better bring something different. It better be incredible strength and explosion, or it better be incredible speed. And for a guy that's on the smaller side for the wide receiver position, he showed incredible speed. So you make up that difference right there, and the size becomes not an issue anymore. So I thought he was great. And you're right, some of the interview stuff, I thought he sounds incredibly professional. He's got a really nice demeanor about him. And I don't know where he's going to get drafted. Wide receiver is incredibly difficult to gauge that, but those numbers definitely helped him.
No doubt. Now, some people tried to make a big deal about the answer he had where he said, "Oh, you didn't ask him to run a ton of different routes." Welcome to college football, man. There's just there are not a lot of offenses in college football where you are running an NFL route tree. It's just, especially if you're playing in a tempo offense like Mims did. So, I mean, that's true for the vast majority of college offenses. So some people tried to make it into a really, really big deal. And I didn't think it was a big deal at all. But some people tried to blow it up into this massive deal, like, oh, this is going to be used against us in recruiting. Listen, no, it's not. He was just being honest, and it's true. It's true. Now, you run a lot of different routes. It's not like you're running 2 different routes or anything like that if you're Marvin Mims, especially with how much
there's like 8 routes total anyways.
Right.
It's like it was a weird deal. Yeah.
Why did that become such a big deal? I was confused. I was like, wait, why are people freaking out?
Whenever he said, he wasn't saying it as anything bad. but some people immediately took it as, well, that's why our offense isn't where it should be or whatever, is because it's so limited on routes, or um, you know, they either blamed OU's offense and Levy because there's not enough routes in the tree that they run, or they blamed it on Mims and said, well, the only reason he's not running more routes is because he's not a good route runner. He's only a deep ball threat. It's like it split everyone right down the middle, and everyone had to take sides. And I'm sitting here saying, there are no sides to take. This is not an issue. The kid is a 4.3 athlete that ran a 6.9 3-cone. It doesn't matter what the route is, right? Like, he could run the route.
He'll be fine.
There's like a post, there's the flag, there's a deep in, a deep out, a comeback, like an under, across, a slant. There's only so many routes, right? It's not like you're inventing all kinds of things. So he'll be absolutely fine. He's got all the skill he'll need.
Yeah, I think that with that performance, I think he probably climbed some teams' big boards at the wide receiver position.
Mm-hmm.
I think that I would be surprised if that didn't bump him into some teams like the top 5, 6 wide receivers on their board, right? I just think that right. He's not the biggest guy in the world. I get that, but he's extremely mature, great locker room guy, and clearly a very gifted athlete. So I was really happy for Marvin.
Nope. He went there. You either improve your stock or you drop. And with those numbers, he improved.
No doubt. Okay, Braden Willis. I was surprised. It was not what I expected. Now, first of all, he did not run a 40, which I thought was interesting. He had a 32-inch vert, 9.9 broad, a 7.303 cone, a 4.36 shuttle. Certainly not what I expected, right? Not numbers for a tight end that are really going to jump out to you. Just to put it, just for a point of reference, like he ran a 7.303 cone. I ran a 7.303 cone at the combine. He ran a 4.36 shuttle. I ran a 4.37 shuttle. So when I see those numbers, I'm like, okay, this seems like I know that Braden Willis is a better athlete than I am. You know what I'm saying? So I just wonder. I wonder if he was nervous or if he slipped. Like I just wonder what happened with some of this testing. But I did think it was strange he didn't run a 40. Maybe something happened in his training. I don't know, but this was not what I expected from him, Ted.
No, it's not. But
I
don't know
don't
what to
think I
make
really
of it.
care.
And I don't think anyone else is going to care either. Like what you got from him, like aside from going out there and being an outlier athletically, I think exactly what you're going to get. You're going to get a dude that, every single snap you can put him at a different spot. He can pass protect. He can run block. He can run routes. He's got good speed, good athleticism. You can put him at fullback. The guy can do absolutely everything. Aside from going out there and just doing some numbers that really stood out among the rest of the group, I think everything you got from him's already cooked in, right? And I think everyone at the Senior Bowl got to see the type of football player he is. Now, it is curious. I think he is athletically better than this, but it could be incredibly difficult at the combine. It's something we've talked about. You never know how the training went. You never know how some guys just can't sleep well there. It's just bad. It's not a good place to go and perform. And some guys, handle it differently than others. And the circumstances can unfold differently for everyone. Then, I can't explain it. I expect him to better every single one of those numbers at Pro Day.
I do too. And I will say, and I don't want to make any excuses for Braden, but he had that foot injury at the end of the season, right? And played through it in the bowl game. And then you go straight into the All-Star games and all that stuff. So I wonder, I wonder how healthy he is and like how that affected his training. Like you don't really know, but I also know this.
There's a lot of pressure there. If you get invited to the combine, and you're not like a first round guy, you feel like, oh my God, if I'm going to go to the NFL, I'd go perform a thing or what I like.
Yeah. So I don't really, I'm not going to overreact to the testing numbers, but I also know what we saw when we watched him on tape this season. And ultimately, the tape is what matters the most, right? That's what teams are going to care about the most. And he put a lot of good stuff on tape, man.
Yep, there is no doubt about that. Yeah, I don't worry about Braden Willis at all. I mean, going to the combine, I'm not sure where he ends up draft wise. I have no idea, but he's going to get an opportunity to make a football team. He's going to be in an NFL camp, and my guess is he probably makes it.
All right, let's move on to what we saw from the guys on Sunday. Anton Harrison had himself a very interesting Sunday. Okay, did you see this whole thing with his arm length measurement?
I did not. Not until I saw that you had it in the rundown.
Okay, so it was a very weird situation. So, you know, he measured in, right? 6'4", 315. Good, good. And then on Twitter, it was reported that he had a 31 3/4 inch arm, which for an offensive tackle is a massive red flag. It was all over Twitter, like, oh my gosh, he's got T-Rex arms. What in the world? And when I saw it, I was like, there's no way that's right. But like I've seen him in person. He's got longer arms than I do. I know that. I know that for a fact. There's no way that's right. And I kept telling my wife, I was like, there's no way that's right. And then it came out, you know, someone put out a correction on Twitter that he had a 34 1/8 inch arm. And I was like, yes, that's the correct number. But for about a 45-minute to an hour-minute time frame, Anton Harrison had gone from like tackle 1 or 2 on a lot of people's boards to, oh, he has to play guard now. Like that's how drastic of a reaction there was to that arm length number. It was insane. But the entire time I was like, there is no way that number is right. Zero chance.
Well, I feel bad for someone had that measurement. I don't know who it was, but they didn't pull that out of nowhere. Just didn't match up to the right person. I'm glad they got that fixed.
Yeah, it was a big deal. Whoever put that on Twitter, that was a bit of an oopsie, but man, he looked good running. He looked good in the drills, ripped off the 4.98 40, which was second among O linemen, 28.5-inch vert. Broad was whatever, who cares? 8.9, but he looked very polished. I thought he looked like he was in really good shape. Looked like he had tightened things up the way that he needed to. Ted, I'm not sure it could have gone much better for him, man. I don't know how the interviews went. I think the interviews will be huge for him, but when it comes to the athletic portion of the NFL Combine, Anton Harrison, it feels like he checked the boxes he needed to check.
Yeah. Well, you go out there and you look as athletic as he does and as athletic as he is, and you turn in those numbers that he did, you go break 5 seconds as a 315-pound offensive tackle, look good in all the drills, the film checks out. Not just as the film check out, also it's not a bad thing whenever Orlando Brown is about to get paid and Creed Humphreys is playing the way he is. Like Bill Bedenbaugh's guys perform well in the NFL. So if you're another Bill Bedenbaugh guy, like that is that's another box that you check for an NFL team. He's trending up. That's a good way to trend.
He looked so good running that 40. And I know that that's not how offensive line is played, but it almost it gave me more ammo for my theory that he's going to be a better pro than he's a college player, just because I think his athleticism is going to get utilized a little more in the NFL than it did at OU because of all the gap scheme stuff. Like, I think you get him out on the edge and like pin pull stuff, outside zone type stuff. I just think that's gonna take his game to a different level. So, man, that last like 10 or 15 yards of that 40 though, that dude was moving. I mean, he
Stepping
was
out.
gliding.
Yep.
Daniel Jeremiah said he looked like a tight end on the
Yeah.
broadcast.
That's crazy. So what do you think? Is he think he cracks the top 10, top 12?
I I'm pretty confident he's going to go in the first round now, just because it turns out he doesn't have T-Rex arms and he's actually got a nice long arm for an offensive tackle. But I'm just going to have to see him go like in the top 15 before I believe it. I think he's more of a back half of the first round type of guy, or maybe early second round guy. But offensive tackles, right, especially athletic ones, don't tend to last in the draft, man. So it just takes one team, and maybe it is the Jets with that 13th pick.
Yep.
But I'll say this: he didn't. Unless something happened in the interviews, he did not hurt his stock at all. Like, he looked so athletic and smooth in pretty much everything he did, man. It really stood out just watching it on the TV broadcast.
Yeah. Well, when you go out there and someone was it Kuiper throws out kind of a shocking number of where you may go, and you go have a performance like that, it solidifies it. And maybe there are some people thinking that, hey, if he gets some of these athletic benchmarks and because the film checks out, he's really high on our board. So I don't know. That's because he doesn't listen. He's talking about Kuiper. He's been in the business a long time. Now, a lot of what he says could be stupid. All right, I get that, but he doesn't come up with a lot of these things just out of thin air, right? He's
Right.
he's talking to the people that are giving some information. So I don't know. It's interesting.
No doubt about it. Okay, Wanye Morris had a 5.10 40, and then on the second 40 popped his hammy and wasn't able to do any of the drills because of that, which is a huge bummer. I always hate seeing it. It happens to a couple guys every combine, and it's really unfortunate that Wanye was one of them. Man, he went down like a ton of bricks, dude. It was not good, but was able to he did the vert and the broad before that, got a 28.5-inch vert, 9.3 broad, but really hopefully he's able to get healthy enough by that March 30th pro day there at OU and able to do some of the position drills. But man, it did not look good. He looked like he was in a lot of pain when he pulled up on that second 40.
Yeah, that's tough, and that's part of like some of the frustration that some people have is like, why are we taking these 320-pound offensive linemen and have them do 40-yard sprint, which is something they don't ever do. It's just that's the nature of the beast. Overall athletic measurements and
They do it because you can look as good as Anton Harrison looked doing it,
right. Yeah, that's true. So I don't know. Like he turned a lot of heads at the Senior Bowl. So some of these numbers are good. The first 40 is the solid number. So I think he'll be okay. If he wants, he'll have another opportunity perhaps because I don't think pro day's till the end of March, right? And they're like
right?
3 or
I
4
think
weeks.
March 30th, right? Is that
Yeah.
right?
Yep. Late.
Yeah. So hopefully he's got some time, and at the very least, I'm hoping he can do the position drills just to show. I think the most impressive thing for Wanye is the movement kind of in short space, and the balance at that size is what teams are really interested in. And I think that if he can get healthy enough to do that and show that so that those teams can get eyes on him up close at pro day, that'll be good for him. But yeah, just a bummer that he was one of the guys that ended up having an issue there with an injury Eric Gray didn't run the 40. What do we think about that?
I don't know.
Because I feel like that's the question for him, right? The top end speed, which I don't know how many times we have to have people tell us, whether they are general managers or scouts or like our buddy Jim Nagy at the Senior Bowl, top end speed is very overrated at the running back position in the National Football League. But it's still interesting he didn't run a 40.
Yeah. And if he's healthy across the board, and that's the question mark, it looks like you're dodging the question.
That's
a little
true.
bit, right? So I don't know, but you can dodge the question when it's asked on their term and answer it whenever it's asked on your terms at Pro Day, right? You want a number on my 40, you can come watch it at Pro Day. So, yeah, as long as he puts out a good number at Pro Day, you can't totally dodge it. You can't, if you're healthy and that's the question on you, you can't just put that off. It's not like he's some incredibly slow football player.
No, it's not like he's running a 4.8 or anything. Like,
right, he's an explosive running back that's athletic. That I would be shocked if he was up there, kind of in upper 25% of running backs, but I imagine he's going to be right there, kind of in the pack type of number.
Yeah, and you look at, he had a 37.5-inch vert. He had a 9'10" broad, which typically 10 feet is what you're looking for. But he's not the tallest guy in the world. So 9'10" is a fine number for Eric Gray on that broad jump. So clearly he's got explosiveness, but for whatever reason, people just want to see every skill guy run the 40. And when they don't run one, it's like, what is he trying to hide? Why would he do this? So I'm assuming he'll run the 40 at OU's Pro Day, but
yeah, probably. I would guess.
Yeah, he's extremely elusive, got really good tape from this last year at OU, but yeah, I won't lie. It's a little disappointed he didn't run the 40. I wanted to see what the time was. Now I got to wait longer. Ted, I'm not that patient. What the hell?
I don't know. That's funny. I was just thinking the broad jump. Gabe, I'm not exaggerating. My broad jump was terrible at the combine. I don't remember what it was. I didn't jump 10 feet, but when I did it at the combine, it was the first time I had done broad jump since like 5th grade track day. Like whenever that was the long jump at the elementary track meet. That was the last time that I had done it. Terrible. And I don't think it's a thing that a lot of guys practice,
Well, they do now because the combine preparation, wait, hold on. You didn't prepare for broad jump at all?
One time. No, not at all.
Well, that's on whoever where did you go to train for the combine? What the hell are they doing?
I don't know. The only thing that we really trained, looking back on it, I should have just stayed at OU. But there was a bunch of like big name guys there. We kind of practiced some 40 stuff, like starts, but it wasn't good. I should have stayed at OU and just always done the things that I had done. That's what I should have done. But like I didn't care about the broad jump at all. Did not care one bit. It was dumb.
You're like, I'm here to run a blazing fast 40 and that's it.
It should have just trained it. I don't know. I'm not even sure I knew that they were going to test us on it.
Oh my God, Dad. What?
It's funny.
My broad jump wasn't good, but at least I knew we were going to do it, man.
The thing about like the broad jump and the vertical, it's about jumping, but it's also about trying to find a way to cheat. Like,
oh yeah,
that's the key to the drill.
They're trying to rip your right arm out of its socket on the reach test, and you're trying to like squeeze that scap as hard as you possibly can.
This is as high as it goes. It's down here. I cannot raise it any more than this.
And they say, relax. We're like, no, I am relaxed. You relax. I'm relaxed. You relax. Oh, it's so good. But hey, I will say this. As bummed as I was that Eric Gray didn't run his 40 at the combine, That's like the number one thing I'm pumped for now for OU Pro Day. And you and I are on the Pro Day coverage. So come on, that's gonna be the thing everyone's gonna be interested in. I feel like that's gonna be the number one story heading into the Pro Day.
Has to be that, and I don't know, maybe see what Wanya Morris's hamstring looks like if he's able to do some drills. And does Jalen Redmond even show up after the performance he put on?
He'll be there. Maybe he'll do position drills, but he ain't doing any of the. He's not doing a 40 or a shuttle or any of that stuff. He has he's done that, and he'll never have to do it again. That's the good part.
That's good.
Okay, really quickly, let's touch on this report from Ross Dellinger, and it's not even a report, right? But we still don't know what the schedule is going to look like when OU goes to the SEC. But Ross Dellinger, who is one of the most well-connected guys in all college football media, works at Sports Illustrated. He put an article out about the future SEC schedule, and basically he made his best educated guess of the 3 permanent opponents for each team in a 9-game schedule format there in the SEC once OU and Texas get there. Ted, he gave the Sooners Texas, Missouri, and Florida. And a lot of debate ensued once this came out. What'd you think? Texas, Missouri, and Florida as the permanent opponents for OU once the Sooners get to the SEC.
I love it. I think it's obviously the rivalry with Texas is preserved. We knew that was going to be the case, but Missouri, fairly close. Not a top tier team year in, year out, which I think is actually beneficial. I mean, I have to put aside like wanting to play every big game, every big team in the conference on every single weekend of the year, but I think that's actually a good one. And then Florida, an opportunity to start a new rivalry with a program that, traditionally has been pretty dadgum good, at least since the 90s. I love it. And one of the good things about it is like Florida is I think they're on a good trajectory. I think they're bouncing back and, in a pretty strong position to do so, but it's not peak Florida right now. So we got a chance to kind of ease our way into that rivalry a little bit. All in all, I actually like it.
I'm with you. And that kind of leads into our Call Your Shot. We asked you guys what you thought of the possibility of Texas, Missouri, and Florida being OU's permanent opponents in the SEC. This first one comes from Jonathan Jernigan. He says, instead of Florida, much rather see Texas A&M or Arkansas, but it is a great opportunity for OU recruiting and, most importantly, the fans to travel to sunny Florida in the fall for a vacation. I saw a lot of people that wanted Arkansas instead of Missouri or wanted Arkansas instead of Florida, but I'm with you, man. I kind of think the Florida thing would be fun. It'd be something different. It'd be something new, right? And these are, I know they're calling them permanent opponents, but that doesn't mean this is set in stone for 50 years. This is going to be reassessed at some point, probably in the relatively near future. So I don't know. The Florida one, just like a Florida OU rivalry, sounds fun.
Yeah. And, as long as they kind of keep it in every sport, which I think would be good. Obviously, a good softball program, good gymnastics program. I like it. And Arkansas would have been obviously a natural choice because of the proximity. I get it. So that one I can kind of get on board with. I can't get on board with the A&M. I want out of the Big 12. I don't want the same teams from the Big 12 that we're used to all of these other years. And I know we're going to get other SEC schools, but I mean, something new, something different is what this move is about. So you got to have a new school in there. And I don't know. I think Florida's perfect. Florida is a huge recruiting state for Oklahoma, not just Oklahoma, for everyone, but the opportunity to have a good presence down there every other year in a big time SEC game, I think it's excellent.
Yeah. And maybe at Don't Trust Government on Twitter put it best. Better than anything current, staying in the Big 12. It's the price for growth. Let's go. I think that's a great way of looking at it. Like, hey, and the other thing, remember, in this model, you're going to play all the other teams every other year.
Yep. Still got
So,
six other big games that you're going to have. You're going to get plenty of SEC action.
yeah. So if you're one of those OU fans, they're like, give us Georgia, A&M, and Alabama every year. It's like, hey, just relax. It's fine that the Sooners have Missouri on the schedule every year. You feel you want one of those. I get where you're coming from, but the other teams, it's going to be a rotation. It's going to be fine. Going to see everyone often. Be fine.
I'll tell you, man, it is not an easy exercise to put that together.
No.
And make it fair. And,
see what Saban said?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know. But what else are you going to do? You have these tie-ins to these games that you play every year. I don't know. It's not easy. And it's a shock. Like, I know it's not official, but this new scheduling system, like, Alabama's not going to be happy about it, because that's one thing the SEC has done is they have protected their good teams with schedules. And if they do this thing the way I think they're going to, or the way I hope they're going to, it's going to be much more difficult to do that.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Now, just a reminder, entire football season between now and then, people. So don't stay focused. You got to stay focused on 2023, even though we keep talking about them going to the SEC because things just keep coming up. Okay.
It's bad because everyone's going to go, damn it, I forgot that we go to Cincinnati this year.
Yeah. All right, let's get to birthday shout-outs. Light week, Ted. Light. Okay. Shockingly light. Happy 12th birthday to Big Will.
Happy 17th birthday, Tony Ballinger.
And happy 67th birthday to Stan Snowbird Speaks.
Nice.
All right, let's get to our man, Creed Humphrey. But first, Love's Travel Stops is now offering a nationwide 10-cent per gallon discount on gas and auto diesel. Just download the Love's Connect app and scan your barcode at the prompt on screen and watch that price drop 10 cents per gallon. Across the country, the Love's Connect app unlocks exclusive deals and can help any traveler plan their route or meal on the highway. So before you hit the road, be sure to download the Love's Connect app to save 10 cents per gallon and experience the country's best highway hospitality at Love's Travel Stops. Love's also has you covered if you forget your phone charger or headphones with an expanded mobile-to-go zone. And, of course, don't forget to grab yourself some of that delicious Java Humore.
Opolis Clothing is the exclusive home for all of our Oklahoma Breakdown merchandise and the best place to get your OU and OKC Thunder gear as well. If you want to live your life in buttery soft comfort, go to opolisclothing.com. That's OPOLIS clothing.com. Use promo code TED, T-E-D, for 10% off your entire order. It's opolisclothing.com. Use promo code TED for 10% off. Buttery soft and 10% off.
And new sponsor alert, Ted. The Garage. Everyone loves the Garage. The place is delicious. Come on. Head to the Garage for hand-smashed patties, butter-toasted buns, and ice-cold beer. The food is fantastic, and it is the perfect spot to watch any big game with your buddies. Visit eatatthegarage.com to find a location near you and order online from the Garage in your neighborhood. All right, here's the big dog himself, Creed Humphrey. It is our pleasure to be joined by a Super Bowl champion. He is also fresh off an appearance on Saturday Night Live. He's the most popular lineman on planet Earth right now. Creed Humphrey is in the house. What's going on, big guy?
Nothing much. What's going on? Thanks for having me on.
A man who loves charity.
I love charity.
Dude, okay, let's start with that because there are more football players that have won Super Bowls than have been able to make Saturday Night Live appearances. And clearly with Travis Kelce hosting, like, tell us all about it. How did that happen? Like, what was the idea for the sketch? Like, how did this get on your radar? Explain it all, man, because that was awesome.
Yeah. So, like at 11:30 p.m. on Thursday, Travis hit me up and he was like, "Hey, what are you doing this weekend? If you can, Friday, we want to fly you out and put you on a skit." So basically, did all that. Flew down there 5 a.m. on Friday morning. Filmed, did all the recording stuff, then flew straight back because I had that little parade thing in Shawnee where I got the key to the city and everything. So I had to make sure I was back Friday night for that. But yeah, he just hit me up, asked about it, just kind of planned it out from, midnight to 4 a.m. Then hopped in my car, went to the airport, flew out there, filmed it, and came back.
It's brilliant. It's hilarious. I just watched it. I didn't know about it, and you guys were telling me about it, so I had to click over and watch it. That is really well done. That's awesome. What was it like? I mean, behind the scenes, what we all know is just kind of the finished product. What was it like behind the scenes? Is it like chaotic?
Yeah. So I mean, for me, I was only in like a little part of that skit. I wasn't on TV or on the video for very long, but I think I filmed for probably 45 minutes, just that one little scene. Yeah, but I got there, basically stayed in my dressing room until they wanted to bring me out and do that skit. So I just did that. Went there, got to meet Jason Kelce. That was really cool. That was the first time really getting to hang out and talk with him. So that was really cool to do. But yeah, just went in there, filmed, and went straight back to the airport to come back.
So how frustrating. So you do all that to get there and film it and do that. And then for the sake of time, they ended up cutting it out of the live broadcast. First of all, why would they cut the funniest pre-record of all of them? It makes no sense. I don't know anything about comedy, but that was hilarious. Like, well, is that frustrating for you? Or like, what the hell? I did all this and you didn't even put it in the live show?
Yeah, so yeah, I was watching it last night. It never came on. I was surprised. They didn't let me know that it was going on, but they posted it right away, like right after the show. Travis did an awesome job though. He's a natural at that type of stuff. So there are plenty of funny moments on there. But it was really just a cool experience to do anyway, so I wasn't too mad.
I'll tell you what I think is crazy. What was it? February 7th, the Super Bowl? Wasn't even a month ago. And obviously, after you win a Super Bowl, you've got celebration stuff, and people obviously want to also celebrate with you in other areas, and you get opportunities like the Saturday Night Live thing. But the combine just happened. The draft is coming up. Like, the off season's almost over for the part like where you're not really doing anything. It's crazy how long the season is when you go to the Super Bowl. Like, how do you feel right now as far as, like, is your whole scheduling, your timing thrown off for what a typical offseason is?
Yeah, it's definitely a little weird, just because the season runs so late. The off season really does get shortened down. So for me, I took 2 weeks off and I started working out again last week just so I can stay on top of things. Nothing crazy, just making sure I'm moving my body around and everything, not letting it get too stiff or anything. But yeah, it's crazy just how fast that all happens. You finish up the Super Bowl. By the time you're done with the parade and everything, it feels like it's already March. So it's definitely crazy.
So obviously want to talk about the Super Bowl and all of that, but just have a question about the season in general. Right? Last year, it's your rookie year. You played a really, really high level, but your rookie year is just different. Now, how much more confident, how much more comfortable did you feel overall in year two?
Yeah, I felt a ton more comfortable, more confident out there. I felt it's crazy just how much I felt the game slow down, mentally, and just seeing things better, from that year one to year two. it really slowed down for me in year 2, and I was seeing so many different things, and I was able to point so many more different things out. So yeah, it gave me a ton of confidence, coming off a good rookie season to go in there and play that second year well. So yeah, it was definitely fun. We had a great year and had a good time.
Yeah, just I mean, kind of that back to the time issue. Like before your rookie year, you finish, you play your bowl game, you work out for the combine, you got pro day, there's senior bowl type of stuff. Like it feels like a whole season in itself. So there's never really any time to relax then. So I'm sure going into year 2, there was quite a bit more of, you already know the system, your teammates. Is that maybe one of the biggest benefits is just, having some comfort with everyone that you're around?
Yeah, definitely. Just being around those guys, going into OTAs my first year, I didn't know what to expect. So, I was stressed out throughout all of OTAs that first year. And, we had 5 new offensive linemen starting. So everybody's trying to learn the system and everything. So, OTAs felt kind of stressful that first year. Then going into this past year, we get to OTAs, the whole offensive line's back. We're close with each other. Everybody knows the system now. Everything's, it felt like everything slowed down. It was a lot more relaxed throughout, OTAs and everything. So, that's definitely feel like an advantage for us whenever we, get to have that period off, after that rookie season, just because that feels so long. The whole rookie season, straight from college to your rookie year, it's just so long, and that can be pretty mentally draining. But going into that second year, you feel a lot more relaxed, and you just feel a lot more confident doing stuff out there.
How badly did y'all want the Bengals in that AFC Championship game? I know there was the weird piece to it was going to be a neutral site game in Atlanta if it would have been Buffalo, but after what happened a year ago in the way that it happened, right, at Arrowhead, how badly did you guys want Cincinnati in that AFC Championship game?
Yeah, we definitely wanted to play them. Losing to them, 3 times within the past year, man, we really wanted to get that one back. So it felt great. It also, gave us the opportunity to play the championship in Arrowhead. So, that was also a huge advantage for us. So, yeah, we were definitely wanting to play Cincinnati. They're a great team. They have a ton of great players, and it's always a fun game when we get to play them. Always a close game too.
Well, the Super Bowl, I mean, it was a great game, and leading up to it, tons of talk about Philly's defensive line and how productive they've been, and it sounds like that's something that you guys made it a point to talk about it, maybe build that up as something to really get some fire going, and everyone continued to talk about it before and after the game. So what was that whole thing like?
Yeah, just leading up to the Super Bowl, we had the media day and everything in Arizona, just talking to media throughout the week. It felt like the entire time was basically just the media asking us, how are we going to be able to protect Patrick Mahomes? The rush is so good. It's a historic defensive line, things like that. And, I just feel like we weren't getting really the respect that we deserved up front. We have a really good group up front. All those guys up front do a great job. So, we took that to heart, and we knew we could get after him with our, run install that we had. So we were really excited about getting that run game going during the Super Bowl. And yeah, it was a fun game, just going out there and being able to make a statement like that. It was awesome.
So the first half did not go perfectly, right? Weren't exactly in in the spot you wanted to be there when halftime rolled around. But what's it feel like when you got Mahomes on your side, right? When he's the guy back there, like do you ever feel like you're not gonna win? I know that sounds stupid, but like when you have that guy, it's got to be such a weird feeling. Great feeling, but weird feeling.
Yeah, we were down 10 at halftime, and I don't think anybody in that locker room felt like we were going to lose. We just the type of players we have, and we've been in so many close games. We've had so many games where we've had to come back from being behind. So yeah, we knew we were still in that game, and everybody had confidence about it. We just knew we had to go out there and tweak some things, make sure we were focused up a little bit more than what we were in the first half. And then, just with what we were doing and everything, we knew we were going to be able to come back.
I was just thinking about it, Gabe, after you asked that question. Creed's played with a lot of really, really good quarterbacks.
You think?
2 Heisman Trophy winners. Hurts, who was the runner-up, and then obviously Super Bowl competition there. Now Mahomes, that's awesome, but obviously you're a big piece of the pie. Like, are there common traits between all of those guys? Are there differences? Like, is there something that you see in all their personalities that you feel like is kind of the same? I mean, I don't know. That's a really interesting little factoid there.
Yeah, no, I've been extremely lucky about the quarterbacks I've got to play with. It makes my job a lot easier with those guys. So, yeah, but I mean, and all those guys, they definitely share common traits. Just their competitiveness. They're willing to work. Just them wanting to be great, and all of them are good leaders too. In the locker room, they do a great job. Leading the guys throughout the game. Making sure no one gets too down if things aren't going right. No one's getting way too excited whenever things are going good. They all do a great job of just leading the guys, and it's been a blessing to play with all of them for sure. It makes my job so much easier when you have guys back there that are that talented.
So what was more fun, the after party or the parade? I gotta imagine it's the parade, but I know you're a big DJ Khaled guy, Creed, and he came through the after party. I know you were having the time of your life.
Oh yeah, no, that after party at the hotel was awesome, but yeah, I definitely got to go with the parade, man. Just I think it was over 1 million people were at the parade this year, and it was just insane. Just Chiefs Kingdom it's pretty ridiculous just how much they love their Chiefs. So it was awesome to go out there and experience that. Just so many people cheering us on and everything, and had a few beers. That was a good time. So yeah, it was a good time.
Few cold beers. Now, where did I know that Orlando ends up saying, "Hey, zero sacks, put it on a t-shirt." You guys end up with t-shirts that say 0 sacks. Where did they come from? Did someone just walk up to you and like, "Hey, here you go"?
Yeah, so our one of the guys on the equipment staff actually made them for us. So yeah, he put all those together for us. It was really cool. But yeah, we were really excited to wear those. Everybody was pumped about it. So it was really cool.
I had more people, I think, commenting about the AFC Championship whenever you just kind of raided the stadium's coffers of all the beers there. Did you ever get a tab for that? Anyone ever send you a check?
No, I haven't gotten anything yet. They probably just took it right out of payroll, though.
That's awesome.
Straight payroll deducted the Michelob Ultras.
Yeah.
That was. Did you realize that was going to be such a popular picture among the fan base? That was like the perfect. First of all, just the perfect description of you. But Chiefs fans, they love that picture, dude.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I had a feeling as soon as we stepped outside, there were going to be a lot of pictures taken, but yeah, no, it's a great picture. Yeah, we had a good time with it. It was me, Derek McKinnon, Nick Allegretti. We all went out there and grabbed everything for their locker room. But it was a good time. Just as soon as you walk over to that little bar area, everybody was just surrounding you, handing you free drinks and stuff. So we had a good time.
So do you have a favorite moment from the game, favorite play, anything that sticks out? And do you guys, you don't go back and watch that as a team, do you? Is it just like you're just scattered after it's all over?
Yeah, I just got back, did exit interviews at the parade, and then everybody just kind of left. Yeah, my favorite moment though, probably going into the fourth quarter, we ran a little duo concept to end the third quarter, and it got I think 8 or 9 yards, but it was, just one of those things. I feel like it set the tone for that fourth quarter leading into it.
Felt like you broke them open there.
What was that?
Felt like you kind of broke them open. You could tell they were folding.
Definitely, for sure. Orlando had a huge block on that, took his guy 10 yards off the ball. Everybody was just moving bodies, and it was, we had a ton of confidence going in that fourth quarter because of that play, but it it was definitely I feel like it was a tone setter for that fourth quarter.
There was a big deal made about the field. Now, I was sitting with your brother and your parents, so I'm obviously locked in to what you were doing pretty much on every single snap, celebrating with your brother. I may have punched him a few too many times, honestly. But you didn't have any issue with the field, and it didn't seem like your O-line had much of an issue with the field. Like, why do you think that turned into such a big talking point? It seems like you guys handled it well.
Yeah, it was pretty slick, especially in the second half. But it's just something that you can't really think about when you're out there. That's the way I see it. If you start focusing on that too much, it's going to take away other parts of your game. So, we did a good job being prepared, making sure we had good cleats. Everybody had new cleats on, with the good traction and everything. So, I feel like the guys did a good job just preparing for that. A couple of days before, the special teamers went over there and kind of walked around the field and kind of gave us a heads up. They're like, "Hey, the field's pretty slick, so just be ready for that." So yeah, we got to put those cleats on, and I feel like we handled it pretty well.
So last year, AFC Championship, you guys got beat. I'm sure you go into the off season. There's something to build on. Everyone's hungry, pissed off, I'm sure, about the way the season ended. Plenty of motivation. Now, year 2, you win the Super Bowl. It's the absolute peak of the sport that you're in. Like where do you go from here? Like, how do you reach back down again and start the whole process over with the same fire?
Yeah, we gotta go get another ring. That's the way we look at it. But we celebrated and everything, but now I'm already getting back to work. I'm one of those guys that I don't like just sitting around doing nothing. So I've been wanting to get back into the gym. So I already got back in there, started working out and stuff. But just the thing with the Chiefs, and they've been so successful over these past years, is just because of the culture in their locker room. Everybody wants to be a winner. Everybody wants to continue to win. And they got the right guys to do it. And, they got the right leaders in there too with, Pat, Trav, guys like Orlando, Chris Jones, that you just got, the right types of leaders in there and the right types of players in there to, keep going, keep pushing. Everybody's fired up to get back to work. I can already tell you that right now. So it's we're ready to get back after it for sure.
So for you individually, right now, you just won a Super Bowl, you made the Pro Bowl, you made All Pro. There's really nothing left, right? Other than get a massive contract. So like, what is your focus this offseason? Right. And now I know you're the ultimate team guy, but I mean, where are you trying to improve your game?
Yeah. I think there's areas, to improve everywhere you look at it, to be honest. So, for me, it's just, continuing to play with that same confidence, continuing to work on, strength, athleticism, those physical things, and just, taking a little bit of time just to relax, let everything calm down a bit and just get your head back ready to work. But yeah, for me, there's improvements that you can make every single day. So for me, it's going to be technique. It's going to be, mentally, being able to see things like that. So, OTAs are great for that stuff to work on too.
Where is your off season workout place? Do you have a compound like Lane Johnson has?
No, I don't have that, but yeah, working out in Oklahoma City. It's Performance Course, Oklahoma. So they got a building down up here. So that's where I've been working out.
Keeping it local, baby. Let's go. Love that.
Yeah.
Love that. Now, you mentioned it earlier, but what can one do with a key to Shawnee? Like, does that just allow you to walk into every establishment in the city and take as much beer as you want? Or like, how's this work?
I don't know. I got to figure that out, see if it really works like that. But yeah, I'm not sure, but it was a surreal moment just getting to go back there. Just see all these people that, were a part of my life that, kind of got me to where I am today, all my old coaches, teachers, things like that. It was really great to see everybody and, reconnect with them after a while. and it was, it was a good time. Just had a lot of memories, flashback, as soon as I, stepped on the field over there. So it was a good time.
So whenever they paint your picture on the water tower, is it going to be like snapping the football, or is it going to be like carrying a case of beer? There's got to be something good, right?
Hopefully both, hopefully do. Yeah, hopefully do one with me snapping and one carrying a case of beer.
Or snapping a case of beer. How about
snapping
that?
a case of beer. There we go.
Wait, you gotta get your friends over at Boulevard on board. Get it sponsored, man. Get some cash for it.
Yeah, definitely.
So one more, we'll let you get out of here, man. And I know that this is a stupid question. It's probably kind of hard to put in words, but you work your entire life to get to a Super Bowl and to win a Super Bowl. Like, how did that feel in the moment? Right? Like you win the Super Bowl. Like, what's it feel like?
It was completely surreal. I feel like it still hasn't set in completely, but it's just, an insane moment. Like you said, you're working for it your entire life, and it's something you dreamed of doing your entire life. And whenever you achieve that, there's just no better feeling, man. And just seeing how happy all the guys around me were and everything, seeing, just all their hard work pay off too. And, just doing what I can to help them get there. That was a great feeling. And just, seeing everybody so happy and stuff, and, feeling that way, it was awesome. It was just a surreal moment for sure.
Awesome stuff, man. 2 in a row. Let's go do it.
Let's do it. Going back to back.
You got the quarterback to do it. I think you guys will be right there at the end of the day, man. Creed, we love you, man. You're the best. What a season, but just getting started. Just getting started. That big payday is coming next, baby. Let's go. That guy's awesome. And it is an absolute travesty that Saturday Night Live cut that skit out of the live show. What are they doing? I don't know anything. What are they doing?
Dumb. I think we got ourselves a superstar in the making. I know he's a little more reserved than some of the other centers out there, but he's doing some good things, man.
He is. And he's going to be very, 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 very rich. Because he's incredibly good at football.
He's going to be very rich, and he's going to play football for a very long time.
Yes. And he's like one of the most likable dudes ever, which is awesome.
I know.
All right, let's finish up with our winners and losers of the weekend. But first,
Bishop McGuinness Catholic High School represents a tradition of educational excellence in Oklahoma City. Grounded in a faith-based education, students prepare to meet their potential with an individualized academic path that strives for success. Bishop McGuinness offers a college prep curriculum that includes 22 AP courses, participation in OSS AA athletics where they've won more than 100 state championships, and numerous clubs and organizations for students to join and grow. If you want to provide the best possible educational and spiritual development for your children, contact Bishop McGuinness Catholic High School or visit bmchs.org. Financial aid is available.
And attention business owners, you need Insurica in your life. Insurica is one of the country's largest insurance brokers with 30 offices throughout Oklahoma, Texas, and the Southwest. Insurica is able to customize programs by accessing the latest information from many insurance carriers. They compare and contrast coverage offerings and pricing in order to design a cost-effective, comprehensive program to meet your business's specific needs. Insurica's clients become best-in-class businesses by working with Insurica's team of advisors to manage risk. Purchasing insurance is only one way to protect your business. Best-in-class businesses win by avoiding a loss in the first place. If your business partners with Insurica, you'll save huge amounts of money and take back control of your total cost of risk. I'm an Insurica client, and you should be too. If your business wants to be best in class, connect with Insurica at insurica.com. That's INSURICA.com. As always, Ted, kick us off. Who do you have as your winner of the weekend?
OU men's hoops.
They did it again, baby.
Did it again, just like we all said. They would blow TCU out at home to end the season. Really, really nice win. Another top 25 win for them. they got off to a fantastic start. Listened to most of the first half with T. Rowe calling the action, was really good. And, they just came out and dominated. No big deal. They wasn't overwhelming, 50% from the floor, 35 from three. Got to the foul line quite a bit, which I thought was one of the real keys to success for them. We're 17 to 23 there. Just a good all-around performance. Another good performance from Tanner Groves too, man. 23 points from him, was the leading scorer. Oh, pretty good. You know where they are. We're realistic about where they are. You got Oklahoma State in the first round of the Big 12 tourney. I mean, I don't know. I don't think they're going to be able to make the NCAA tournament, obviously, unless they win the Big 12 tournament. And right now, I'd say that's a very outside chance that they pull that off. But you never know. You go on a nice little run, maybe turn some heads. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. I mean, you never know what'll happen there in Kansas City. It's another one of those games where if you're an OU fan, like you're excited that they finish the regular season on such a strong note, but you're also probably like, why haven't we seen this version of the team more often? Right? Because that TCU team that's a good basketball team. So it's exciting and frustrating all at the same time because of how the season has gone as a whole. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What is 6-1 wins for OU now?
Yeah.
Crazy. But,
yeah.
What's frustrating is it wouldn't have taken a whole lot else in a couple of close games, to put themselves in a better position than they are right now, or be in the tournament right now. And because I feel like Oklahoma is a team that is, now we've talked about their athleticism. They lag behind the conference, right? There's no doubt about that. And that would hurt you in the tournament, but they're a team that also, whenever they're on, can play with absolutely anyone in the country. And we've seen that. So you feel like it's a team that could make a pretty decent little run in the tournament if the matchups were right and they got hot at the right time. But perhaps we'll never know. We'll see what they do in the Big 12 tourney. What's that, start Wednesday night?
Yeah. It's just so you never know. You never know. Wednesday, they're the Wednesday. They got that. I think they're the late game on Wednesday night.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Weirder things have happened, right?
That's right.
But I'm with you. I think their only chance of making the tournament, their only chance of making the tournament is to somehow, some way, run through the Big 12 tournament. Weirder things have happened. It seems unlikely, but hey, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
All right. Who do you have as your loser of the weekend?
Okay. I had to go with Oklahoma State as my loser. And here's why. There's quite a bit of controversy going on right now. OU got the win over Oklahoma State, 80-71 at Gallagher-Iba, right? That gets Oklahoma at least a share of the Big 12 championship for the first time since 2009, I believe. And they've done it in really, really nice fashion. Got the win there against Oklahoma State. And whenever they knew that they were going to have at least a share of the Big 12 championship, they celebrated. Okay. And I guess Oklahoma State was trying to send their seniors off, as their last game there at Gallagher-Iba. And, there was quite a bit of talk post-game about it, right? At the press conferences. And Oklahoma State, the fans were booing pretty loud, and Oklahoma State's coach in the press conference was pretty upset about it, said she's never seen anything like it in her whole career, which I doubt, really, never. But it boils down to this always. If you don't want someone to celebrate on your court, win the basketball game. That is it. That is it. There's nothing else to really talk about. I don't think what Oklahoma did is, I mean, perhaps there's more respectful ways to do it, but I
Oh,
mean, they just won
come
the Big
on, man.
They just won the Big 12 championship. The last thing they think about is the seniors at Oklahoma State. This is their last game. Come on. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I'm with you. Now, I don't think Jenny Barrage, and first of all, how good of a job has that woman done?
Year two. Year two.
I mean, she has resurrected that program. I mean, it was not in a good place when she took it over. And in year two, she's got them as
24-5.
Yeah. And I'm interested to see if they can make some noise in the NCAA tournament. We'll see how it goes.
I'd be shocked if they don't. The way they score, the way they shoot the three, I'd be shocked.
They have had a few games this season where
the last game against Texas was odd.
That's one where you're like, what's going on there? But what a tremendous job she's done and that team has done. And yeah, they just won the conference championship. Yeah, they're going to celebrate. Like, what are we even talking about? Now, I will say, I was confused. Did Oklahoma State save like their senior day festivity stuff for after the game?
That's what I was trying to understand. Like, maybe it was just like, was it just like a walk-off applause or something, or like standing O for the seniors?
That's where I was confused because I saw quite a bit of the game and it was, but I didn't pay a ton of attention to the celebration or what was going on afterwards. And then I saw the press conference. I was like, wait, what did I miss?
Well, here's for future senior day planners, do the festivities before the game. If by chance you get your ass beat during the game, right, that it screws up the celebration post game, right? Do it when we're all happy and feel like we're going to win.
Yes. That is tremendous advice. Dude, you can't be giving that stuff out for free. You got to start charging for stuff like that. Come on, man.
Yeah, we'll have a college athletics think tank. We'll give out advice like that.
I'm sure all kinds of people would sign up for that. All right, let's get to my winner and loser. But first,
John Vance Auto Group has been serving Oklahomans for 40 years. They're family owned and operated, and they got 9 full service dealerships in Woodward, Miami, and Guthrie. No matter what your vehicle needs are, John Vance Auto Group has you covered. They carry domestic brands such as Ford, Lincoln, Chevy, Buick, GMC, Chrysler, Dodge, Ram, Jeep, and Wagoneer. John Vance Auto Group's goal is to give unequaled service and to exceed customers' expectations in every way, which is why they have their lifetime loyalty program. And here's how it works. Buy a new or used car for them. All you got to do is get the manufacturer recommended maintenance done at the Vance dealership. And if something goes wrong with the components of your engine, transmission, drive, axle, or transfer unit, they will cover the repair costs. It's a great deal. You can browse their entire inventory or find the John Vance dealerships near you at vanceautogroup.com.
And First Fidelity Bank is a full-service financial institution, easy for me to say, based in Oklahoma with tailored solutions for all your personal and business needs. Checking accounts, saving accounts, home loans, and much more. They do it all. Whether it's online banking from your computer or mobile banking from your phone, everything is stress-free with FFB. Making mobile deposits, paying bills online, and moving money to different accounts could not be easier. People, just make your life easier. Go bank with First Fidelity Bank. Visit ffb.com for more information. All right, for my winner of the week, Ted, can I interest you in some Max Verstappen, baby? It's back. We're back. Huh? F1's back. Let's go.
Let me guess. Max Verstappen was singing and whistling as he lapped the field. Ferrari was fighting with each other, trying to chase him down.
No. Of course, Charles Leclerc had to retire the car. It's Ferrari. Come on, man.
And
something went wrong. It's Ferrari. Of course it did.
Mercedes was just happy that they weren't porpoising.
Yeah. The porpoising troubles. I did not hear anything about the porpoising troubles. I think they've got that ironed out for the most part. But yeah, F1's back. Bahrain Grand Prix. In a shocking development, Max Verstappen wins the first race in the Formula One's calendar. So it's back. We'll sprinkle that a little bit in throughout the next couple months here on the podcast. But my winner of the weekend, Anthony Richardson. Listen, I've got no clue if that guy is going to be a successful quarterback in the NFL. I have no idea, right? Will the accuracy get better? Will the anticipation get better? Will he be able to master whatever offense he's in? I don't know. What I do know is that dude is an athletic freak of nature. My God, how much fun was that to watch, dude? That's why the combine will never go away. NFLPA, don't even try. It's never going away because of guys like that. That was incredible to witness.
I feel like he should be like tailback, tight end, wide receiver, edge rusher, that's like the measurables that you want at about 8 different positions, right? Like not measurables you want, like if any guys at those positions have those measurables at that height and weight, they're like top 10 picks. It's crazy.
6'4", 244, 40.5-inch vert, 10 foot 9 inch broad, in a 4.43 40. Just insane. And listen, I know he was up and down last season at Florida, but there is no doubt in my mind that a team in the top 10 is going to look at that and go, you know what? Let's give it a whirl. Like if we're going to miss on a guy that has unreal physical traits. And he is, have we seen at the quarterback position, have we seen anything like you're talking about the combination of size and speed? And I thought he threw it pretty well in the drills. It's hard to tell, just watching that. It's like, oh yeah, he can throw it really far. I felt like I already knew that. Yeah, I'm stunned. But just seeing how physically gifted he was, man, is it weird of me to say I want him to be good? I feel like there are some people out there that are hoping that he's not good. I want him to be good because that would be incredibly entertaining to watch on Sundays if he can figure it all out, because he is a freak of nature and it's awesome.
You think Billy Napier was trying to convince him not to go to the combine? To where everyone in the world could see, like, it's like, wait a second. This guy played quarterback in college football here. This guy that has these measurables was a quarterback in college football last year. It's like, you don't want anyone to know that you had that guy in your backfield every single play.
It's like, Billy, how did you not score 50 points a game with this guy?
Right. There's no way it looks good. Like Florida fans, which I'm sure knew like how freakishly athletic he was, but when everyone in the NFL, he gets like 5 days of 24/7 coverage about, oh my God, this guy's incredible. And Florida's like, what the hell?
Why weren't we better?
Right. I know that the coaching staff at Florida is like,
damn it. But that was fun to watch, man. I mean, we'll see. But if Anthony Richardson accomplishes nothing else, that dude put on an absolute show at the NFL Combine.
Rarely, every year, there's someone that kind of steals the show, right? Somebody from somewhere comes and puts on a performance that, we just weren't ready for. Rarely is it a quarterback.
Yeah.
And when it is a quarterback, I don't know what that means for the draft. It could mean something incredible. This is going to make some NFL teams like have some 10-hour like grind sessions over film and like, what do we do? Do we take him? Do we not? It's crazy.
Yeah. It was something, man. Whoa. All right, but for my loser of the week, thought about going with Texas Tech head coach Mark Adams. Did you see that?
Yeah.
What? So that first of all, they lost on Saturday at home to Oklahoma State, right? Which they were kind of playing themselves back onto the bubble, like they had a much better back half of Big 12 play after starting 0-8 in conference play. But Kirby Hocutt suspended him allegedly, just from everything I've seen. Adams was like coaching up a player and was trying to tell him to be more receptive to coaching and used, I guess, a Bible verse that references slaves serving their masters, and which, don't do that, right? Like, let's have some common sense here, Mark Adams. Let's not be a complete and utter moron, but what in the world, man? What the hell is going on with that? I mean, it's just horrible judgment.
The think tank has nothing to say about this one. I have no idea how a coach in big time college athletics could. What are we doing?
What is he doing?
I don't know.
There's
man.
a lot of other Bible verses, Mark.
Yeah.
Anything but that, dude.
I don't know, man. That's wild. I need to read more or see exactly like how this whole thing played out, because I just kind of saw
there are not a ton
blip.
of details on it from what I could find.
Yeah. I just saw the blip. Like, I don't know what he said. Like, did he just like reference the verse, like, and the player had to go look it up later, or is it, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It's just it's a bad idea, and I think everyone everywhere understands that.
Yes, I think anyone with common sense knows don't do that.
You know,
and
it's.
I wonder if it's going to cost him his job.
Probably, unless he's got some really, really good explanation as to how this went down. But like, here's to me what feels like the worst part of it is sometimes things are said in the heat of the moment that you didn't even mean it at all, or I don't know. Like, sometimes things can come up that it's like, where did that come from? But this is clearly something that he's thought long and hard about. Right? Here's a Bible verse, and here's how I can use it. And here's the chance I can use it. And to have something that you've thought about for that long, yet couldn't see how this is not going to end well. That seems like a strange deal.
No, I'm with you. We'll see how it plays out, but yes, the Ikard Lehman think tank, don't use that Bible verse.
Yeah.
Bad.
Yeah.
Racist.
I don't even
bad.
know what the Bible verse is right now, but it's on the do not use list at the think tank.
Don't use it. The think tank, we denounce that. Don't do that. All right, but my loser of the weekend, and this, it feels like this thing has snowballed over about the last month or so. Ja Morant. What in the world, man? I mean, he has had quite the string of bad decision making.
3 deals, right? That I can think of. It's
a month ago or so. It was what did his people aimed a laser? Did they not aim a laser at the Pacers or the Pacers team bus? Whatever that had the NBA. The NBA had to investigate that. Then a report surfaces here over the last couple of days where. And it was back in the summer, I guess, but he punched a 17-year-old kid in the face a bunch of times.
Yeah.
And then brought a gun out and like showed it to him. And then
over a basketball game, by the way.
Yeah, that I think was like in his backyard.
Yeah.
I mean, and then a report that I guess he threatened a mall security guard, and then he's flashing a gun on Instagram Live in the early hours in the morning after a loss. He's just shirtless in a strip club. Like, I don't know what's going on with him, but the Grizzlies announced he'll be away from the team for at least the next 2 games. And I'll give Ja Morant credit, put out a statement apologizing to pretty much everybody and said, quote, "I'm going to take some time away to get help and work on learning better methods of dealing with stress and my overall well-being." I don't know Ja Morant at all. I don't know the people around Ja Morant at all. But they got to make sure that he cuts all of this out of his life. This guy has a chance to be one of, I mean, he's one of the must-see players to watch in the NBA. And I don't really know a ton about his background, right? But he doesn't have to. I don't know why he thinks he needs to do any of this stuff. Like, what does he think he needs to prove? I don't understand it. And I know that I probably come from a much different world than Ja Morant. I get that. Be the first one to acknowledge that. But, dude, you have everything out in front of you in the world of basketball. Don't throw it away for whatever this stuff is. Don't and the guys around him, you got to protect him. You have to. And part of my opinion on this is selfish, right? I want to see him play basketball for the next, 10 to 15 years, whatever it ends up being, because he's unbelievably entertaining to watch, right? And that's the selfish part of it. But also, like, you never want to see a guy, and it wouldn't be the first time we've seen it, but you never want to see a guy that is this gifted throw it all away for some dumb shit. And I hope he gets back on track, man. I hope he takes the time, gets the help he needs. But this has been a string of some pretty alarming stuff from one of the young players in the NBA that I think would be in consideration, like, over the next 5 to 10 years, like one of the most popular guys in the league. And he went from, like, oh my God, everyone loves Ja Morant, everyone loves watching him, to what the hell is wrong with this guy? Like, it happened that quick, man.
Yeah. Well, all of that is well said by you. Here's my unfortunate take on it. When someone kind of behaves this way, the only way to change that behavior is really whenever you have some stuff taken away, right? And unfortunately, or fortunately or unfortunately, depending on who you ask, there are really going to be no consequences. He may serve a suspension or take time away. He may get fined by the league. But ultimately, the guy's still, I don't know what his contract is right now. Is he a max guy? Have they signed him to that yet?
I think his huge deal kicks in next year, I'm pretty sure.
His deal kicks in next year?
He's going to
get $40+ million a year. And that is going to appear to him like, it doesn't matter what I do, the money is going to keep coming. And unless, like, someone really good around him starts to behave differently, which it looks to me like right now, he's hanging around a bunch of people that want that type of lifestyle, and that's why they're friends with him, and he's got the ability to provide that. And until one of those people that are in an influential position over him say, hey man, listen, we got to cool it. We got to be smarter about what we do, which I do not think will happen. because I think they like that lifestyle too. If they're pointing guns out of their car at the NBA arena at another team in like the loading dock area. Really? I mean, I hate to say this, but unfortunately I don't see this situation getting better.
I think it will. I do.
Hope it does. Let me say that I hope it does, but
he signed, and his big deal kicks in next year. 5 years, $194 million. So when you think like what's on the line here, you can't have both, man. You can't be one of the faces of the NBA and live your life that way. You can't do it. Think about how LeBron James has carried himself over the years. You've never seen LeBron James caught anywhere with a gun in his hand. Right? It's Steph Curry. You've never seen Steph Curry. You have to choose, man. Do you want to be one of the faces of the NBA, or do you want to live that type of lifestyle? You cannot have both, in my opinion. Like, it's just, you can't have both. So I got a feeling Ja Morant and everyone around him that this is going to be a big wake-up call and say, guys, we gotta stop it with this stuff. Right? There's too much on the line here. $194 million on the line. And Nike came out and backed him. He just got a signature shoe. He just got it. And like they were selling Kyrie Irving's like candy, and they took his shoe away. You don't think they'll take Ja Morant's shoe away over this stuff? Come on.
Yeah.
So I hope he figures it out, man, because he's incredible. He's fun to watch. Like, and it's crazy. The Grizzlies went from like the most likable team ever to like, what the hell's wrong with these guys? These guys suck. Like it happened so quickly that I don't know. And Ja Morant's a big piece of that. Got to figure it out.
He is an exceptional talent, and the guy can be, it's at the point where, some of the superstars in the league are aging out. They're looking for new guys, and he's like the new guy. He's one of the new people that's got athleticism that's unmatched, and some of the things that he could do is just, he's incredible. You make $40 million and you spend your nights late, messed up at a strip club. Buddy, you can't put a bigger target anywhere than that to get robbed, and God knows what else happened to you.
Yeah. Let's hope that this is the last time we ever got to talk about anything like this with Ja Morant. That's what I'm hoping.
Yep.
Right. And listen, if you're not doing that stuff, it doesn't make you soft. It doesn't make you any of that stuff. Like, you just have to conduct yourself differently when you are as gifted as Ja Morant is. It just, that's the world, man. Like, that's the world. So I'm hoping he gets everything figured out, because that has been a really unfortunate string of events for what I consider one of the young superstars in the NBA. So let's hope it works out, man. On that note, episode 297 in the books. We'll have a new podcast that'll drop Wednesday. Just a reminder, you can hear Teddy from 3 to 6 on 94.7 The Ref. You can hear me from 2 to 5 on Sirius XM Big 12 Radio, channel 375. Hope you all have a great week. And until next time, we appreciate y'all for listening. Do what you always do, Oklahoma. Take care of each other.